I'm Kel Kidman. Welcome to Breaking on the Daily, where today we begin with Michigan voting machines. We're apparently online during counting, according to an affidavit. The affidavit was apparently kicked out of court for lacking evidence, despite the fact that the guy had a photo and claims to have seen wireless networks in the area. Obama says there is no actual evidence of voter fraud. Anything illegal, fraudulent took place in election. Trump has shown flimsy relationship to the truth. It's time to give up. There is only one option. Biden. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Oh, Biden won. Why should I believe Obama? He lies all the time. Remember, keep your doctor? In a sworn statement, prominent mathematician flags up to 100,000 Pennsylvania ballots as being fraudulent. So many affidavits are coming out. They're happening all the time. We're seeing more and more elections. And you see all over social media people claiming 30 lawsuits have been dismissed, despite the fact that the Trump campaign has only filed 3 lawsuits. You morons. Man, and I even believed this for a while. Until Rudy Giuliani came out just yesterday and debunked this entire claim. The Georgia recount results have revealed that Biden is still up by 12,000 votes. There is no reason to believe that this recount was illegitimate or unable to properly audit the election. There is nothing screwy going on with this election. Nothing. 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 Obey the narrative. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Biden won. Yeah. But read the second half of that article. Trump still has one last roll of the dice. He's already filing lawsuits in that area trying to prevent the certification of the election. Also, the Georgia Secretary of State has been pretty screwy throughout this entire process, completely denying things like the SD cards as being a complete miscarriage of the election, despite the fact that there has been monumental, freaking historic margins this time around, as opposed to in the 2000 election, and that's with a cursory recount that isn't even really an audit, despite the fact they claim it's an audit. He's claimed it's the most smooth election that's ever occurred, which, wow, doesn't say anything good about the previous elections he's been involved in. On top of that, you have Rudy Giuliani saying the case is for the election fraud is being made by American patriots in both parties. Thousands of affidavits have been made to lawsuits, to courts. There have been many pieces of evidence, and those who claim that affidavits are not evidence, you're morons. Those are admissible in court. Obviously, they are evidence, and even if some of them are a bit sketchy or not entirely there are many of them that are much more solid. I already mentioned one earlier. Obviously, this is the case. You can't deny that evidence exists. There needs to be an investigation into this. There's enough evidence to at least say that is the case. But you're denying the fact that there needs to be an investigation. All of this is... Tucker Carlson even denies your points. He recently, just last night, said Sidney Powell refused to provide him evidence of any election fraud, of her claims that she put into this press conference just yesterday. Obey the narrative. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Biden won. Here's the problem with that. Tucker was lying. If you see a clip of Sidney Powell saying her side of the story, she gave him another affidavit that wasn't even released to the public. He was lying. Yet people deny this because they want to defend Tucker Carlson, the comic conservative that he is. As if it wasn't clear enough that people like him were just cowards. Members of the legacy media. That's all he is. He lied. And then he got testy, saying that he wanted her to get on so that he could grill her, obviously. Considering how he's treated the situation thus far, it's clear that he is a complete liar. But of course, people aren't going to acknowledge this because they like Tucker Carlson. Now, I've been warning about Tucker Carlson being not very good for years at this point. I personally have never liked his positions on things like this. He's always been a technophobe. He's always been a guy who's always been for economic protectionism. He's essentially Bernie Sanders with a populist right stint and traditional moral values. That's it. That's all he is. All right? You know, in my profile on Twitter, and I think I might have it in other places, but specifically on Twitter, I have something that I said, which is that having your moral values doesn't make you a libertarian. Well, the opposite is true as well. Having traditional moral values doesn't make you an authoritarian or a libertarian either. Alright? You can be both. You can be a socialist and have traditional moral values. Heck, that's essentially just what feudalism was. But yeah, no one cares. It's hard to control myself, as you can see. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Biden won. Obey the narrative. Oh, Biden won. Obey the narrative! Well, it seems as though he's lost control of himself. And the end has come. I'll see you later. This has been Breaking on the Daily.